Hi guys, I'm Shmi. I'm in a discreet location in Dubai where I'm taking a look at the monster of a car you see behind me, the Zenvo ST1. The car is entirely designed and developed in Denmark. 1,100 horsepower from a V8 engine that is both supercharged and turbocharged, hence the ST1 name. This is going to be a full guided tour around the outside of the car, and then we're going to jump in and take a look at the interior too. All of the body panels on the ST1 are made from carbon fibre. Some of it's left exposed around the front edges of the splitter and down the side skirts. It's all designed around the hexagonal Zenvo front grille with an incredibly aggressive look. The car was built from the outset to be both a monster on the track, obviously with 1,100 horsepower it does that very well, as well as being a car that you can comfortably drive to and from the track and as a GT. So it has various track settings that we'll get into when we jump onto the inside. But you can see the aggressive lines follow from the front all the way through, and we'll just come and look around the rear. The spoiler is integrated into the boot lid. You can see the exhausts exiting from the rear. There's a fantastic design. A quick sneak peek at the engine, but we're going to be lifting that up and having a proper look in a moment. It's quite a machine. So, got the key here, so let's unlock it. Get the doors open. Door handles consist of a button on the inside here. You push and open up. So, I'm not going to go too much into the interior because we're going to revert to it. Just open at the front, just leave it here. Now the front, impressively for a car like this, actually has some storage space. Bonnet though, surprisingly, opens the opposite way to the way you might imagine it. You can see the triangular storage space area in the front. Not many cars with this sort of level of performance would offer that. We'll just swing round, open the other door too, so we can get the car all opened up. Again, button to open it up. If I head back round to the driver's side of the car, I can open up the rear, the engine bay. There's a button here, and up it goes. Self-lifting hydraulic rear deck. So, in here, once you get over the carbon fibre everywhere, you have a 6.8 litre V8 engine, supercharger mounted there, and you can also see the turbocharger down there. That generates, in full race mode, 1,104 horsepower. Performance specs, well, you know 0 to 62 is going to be well under 3 seconds. The top speed is limited to 375 kilometers per hour, that's 233 miles per hour. We're going to see a lot more of the performance stats, though, in the not too distant future. All of the components in here are built, designed in-house, from the oil sort of tank made in-house, and all the sort of welds inside very neat and tidy. You see some seriously chunky rear tyres, so you're running 20-inch wheels at the rear. Look very nice in the gold on this car against the white. But one of the clever things with this car is that you can adapt the levels of power using different settings, but we'll get to that inside. Just shut it up. Closed. Just come around, close the door, and we'll close the front. You do that by pushing it down into place and then giving it a very firm press. Here we go, click it into place. But now we're going to jump on inside and show you some of the interior aspects of the Zenvo ST1. So immediately as you look in, you can start seeing on the door the quilted Alcantara. Obviously we've also got a very nice leather with contrast white stitching, the carbon inlays. If we just swing around, have a look, same story goes for the seats. Quilted Alcantara, built with very strong side supporting bolsters. Can also have it without those though, as it makes the seat incredibly snug. Also on the roof we've got the quilted seats, and if you look through the rear window you get a great view of the engine bay, which is very, very smart. We'll just jump into the car. We're going to take a look at some of the displays and see what exactly you can see in here. Close the door. Naturally I didn't give it a firm enough tug. There we go. So I'm just going to turn on the ignition. Now you see these dials, obviously we've got the neutral, manual, auto, reverse controls, ignition on off. That would start the engine, but we're not going to do that right now. Mode is an interesting one, I'll get to that in a second. Obviously park brake and the full lift system. So the dials, very high resolution, smart looking displays. There's a central navigation system right underneath the very sort of aircraft orientated display there. So here, this is where it's all about. Display system. It's designed to be very simple, very easy, yet look fantastic. So we're very bright. On the left you can see the fuel gauge, the oil level. On the right you've got the oil temperature and water temperature. Up the centre you have the rev counter with a speedometer in the middle, all your usual lights and warnings down at the bottom. Underneath the speedo though we have obviously the gear selector at the left, but on the right we have the symbol at the moment says wet. Now that's interesting because when you use this control here for mode, you can change the dial from wet, where the car is running in a fairly gentle 650 horsepower mode, into sport, 850 horsepower. That also brings up the head-up display you can just see over the top there. But the big one is when you press it once more, you then go from 850 into race mode at 1100 horsepower, and that's when things get really interesting. So, no settings or things to have to worry about there, it's all very simple and easy. Just look at this system. Obviously it's a very nice menu. Go into music, probably want to mute that straight away. We've got the radio controls, flick it over, you've got iPod controls, go back home, all sorts of settings, nav, bits and bobs you can play with. So I would say that's pretty cool. It's all based around Android, so it's a very open platform, lots of future development can be done there. I'll just shut the ignition back off. And yeah, I'd say that's pretty cool. So, let's hop back outside. So while I'm still in the car, actually this car itself has a 7-speed semi-automatic gearbox system, you see here. Paddle shifters on the back of the wheel, very nice. Nice feel to them. But of course, you can also have the car with a 6-speed manual, should you prefer. After all, it is $1 million car, so you certainly hope to have the options. Anyway, let's jump on outside. So that was the interior of the Zenvo ST1. Goes without saying that this is one incredibly good looking car. Immensely aggressive. The design almost makes it look very, very low and wide to the ground. Well, it is very low and wide, but it's not as much as the camera perhaps portrays. But it's certainly an immensely cool design. Very brave. And it is entirely designed and built in Denmark. Incredible. Anyway, brilliant for me to have the opportunity to be up close and personal with the car. Great to see, great to enjoy. Hope you've enjoyed a look at a car you may never have seen before. But this is the Zenvo ST1. We're going to be seeing a lot more of it going forward. But that's it for now. I'll catch up with you again very soon. Make sure you subscribe for all the latest videos. Cheers. So it's fitted with a 3.8 litre twin turbo V8.